Good morning, guys. We're going to do our math lesson for today, and we are working on the math design process. And we're going to talk about the structure of math. The structure is what it looks like, how it's made, and math is made up of numbers, 2D shapes, 3D shapes, math symbols, positional words, and math tools. And the function of math, the why do we do math, is to tell how many, to count, to grow our brains, to solve problems, and to help us learn. We're going to be using the design process. So we say we ask, explore, model, evaluate, and explain. And we're asking today, how do I become a better mathematician? So today we're going to be exploring number sense. And I'm going to show you a picture in just a moment. And I want you to just kind of look at it, and we'll talk about it. But I want us to focus on how we see numbers. How do we see numbers? So I'm going to show you the picture, and then I'm going to. Now I've gone to a blank slide. So how many did you see? We saw four. And we've been subitizing almost all year. So most of my kiddos know exactly how to tell you that they saw four. But I want us to look now today. How did you see four? Did you just see four? You just saw four and you knew it was 1, 2, 3, 4, that you didn't have to worry about it. You just recognized it as four. Did you see 2 and 2? Did you see 2 and 2? Did you see 3 and 1? Did you see 3 and 1? And some of you may be thinking, well, Miss Thompson, they all look the same. And it does kind of look the same, but it's different in how you see it in your mind. Did you see 4, just 4, and then no other parts? So 0, 4, and 0. Did you see 1 and then 3? Or did you see 2 and 2, or 2 and 2, or 3 and 1? It's how you saw the parts of 4 that we're kind of delving into today. So we are going to move on to our next one. So here's our next picture. I'm going to go back so you can see it. There's our picture, and there's our blank. How many did you see? These are fairly low numbers, easy numbers for us to go. 3, that was 3. But again, how did you see that 3? Did you see 3 and no other parts? So you saw 3 and 0. Did you see 1 and then 2? Did you see 2 and then 1? When you're looking at numbers, one of the things that we have to analyze is how are we seeing that number? Now, none of those combinations are wrong. We still have 3. It doesn't change what we have. What it does change is it helps me to know, how did you see that number? How did you figure out what that number was? So this is really where kindergarten is. The basis for kindergarten numbers are on this part, where we are working on really solidifying that in our brain. Kind of pop, stock, and lock all these numbers in our brain. Pop it in our brain, stock it on the shelf, lock it in place. So here's your next one. Talk about with your parents right now. How do you see this? First of all, how many is it? How do you see it? Were you able to say it right away, or did you have to stop and count? Did you see it as 5 and no other parts. You just saw it was 5. You knew it was 5. So that would be 5 and 0. Did you see it as 3 and 2? Did you see it as 2 and 3? Did you see it as 4 and 1? All right, here's your next picture. Talk with your parents or talk with who's beside you and tell them, what do you see? How many you see? How did you see it? Did you see 3 and 4? Did you see 4 and 3? Did you see 6 and 1? Did you see 5 and 2? So today, when you're doing your review sheets for your math work, independent math work, they're going to be reviewing the different parts of addition and how to add using the different parts. I want you to think back through it when you're looking through, especially page 2. They'll have a number plus and then a group of objects. So you have to count the objects and figure out how many there are to add to the number to tell you how many it is. So think about how you're seeing that. How did you know what that number was? Did you see it quickly or did you have to count it out? Think about how you're finding out that number. And I will see you guys in a little bit later.